Okay, today I'm unboxing 3 of, I would genuinely say, some of the most fascinating phones that have ever existed, but that people have just forgotten about. The first is the camera-focused Nokia 808 PureView. For some perspective, this was released in 2012, the time of the iPhone 4S and Siri and the Galaxy S2. But this phone right here, even though most people had never heard of it, was an absolute monster. We're quite used to seeing camera-focused phones now. You've got the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, you've got the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. But I would genuinely say that no phone camera has ever been this far ahead of its time. It made every other phone camera look like something you got for free with a McDonald's meal. To put a number on it, compared to the iPhone 4S it was up against, Nokia's camera sensor is almost 6 times bigger. It's still bigger than the main sensor on the $1,400 Galaxy S20 Ultra from 2020. That's ridiculous. And it had all the camera bells and whistles, an ultra-bright xenon flash, a 2-stage shutter button that works like a proper camera's. It even had lossless zoom. Because the resolution is so high at 41 megapixels, when you zoom in, there's space to just crop into that without losing detail. I can think of a few phones that have released this year that are doing the exact same thing and still acting like it's revolutionary. 2012, people. 2012. But okay, you probably get the idea. This phone was described by The Verge as so far ahead of its competition that it has no competition. So how can something this groundbreaking become so quickly forgotten? Well, the most important failure was that Nokia underestimated the importance of software. The phone runs on a completely dead software platform called Symbian, and they even said themselves when they were launching it, look, we know this isn't the best software, but the camera tech is so good that we just needed to get it out for people to try it. But ironically, it was this rush that cost them. The camera is phenomenal, they weren't kidding, but it's so far ahead of the competition, Nokia could have spent 3 years working on the software and perfecting it, and they still would have been ahead. What people need is a well-rounded experience, an app ecosystem, balance, and that's not what Nokia delivered. So, okay, the phone flopped, but just before we get on to the next one, there is another reason we're talking about this. It's actually because of a video I saw a couple of weeks ago. Someone's done a camera comparison with this phone versus a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, a 2012 versus 2020 comparison, and they concluded that it was a draw. I watched this and I remember thinking, what a load of rubbish. What a steaming pile of... You get the idea. But just to be sure, I had to test it myself, because if Nokia from 8 years ago is better than Samsung in 2020, then that is embarrassing. But, spoiler alert, it's not. The Nokia was phenomenal for 2012 standards. I would say it was at least 3 years ahead of its time, which is incredible, but it wasn't 8 years ahead. In absolutely ideal conditions, it has the potential to look nearly as good as the S20 Ultra. But to focus on that would be ignoring the massive leap that modern cameras have made, which is the use of machine learning to be able to take great photos in any condition, with even a rookie doing the shooting.